Yo, what up? This is Ree here. Ree back again with another video, and thanks for joining me. And let's get into it. So, this is on numerology, and we're going to be talking about arrows, different arrows that will determine things about you and your personality according to numerology, and this book called The Complete Book of Numerology. And that's available online if you're interested in more. So, I talked about this in a previous video. What you're looking at right now is a square. And if you take all the numbers in your birthday and put it into this square, you will come up with something like this. Could happen. Yours is going to look different. So say if you have more than one number, you put it in the same square. Hopefully you're understanding what I'm talking about. So you're going to have different squares that look something like this, right? So this is a very common one for people born in the 1900s. This sounds so crazy. I mean, like before 2000, it makes you sound so old. It makes me sound old too because I'm born in the 1900s. But this is pretty common, and it's called an arrow. So we can find these different arrows, like say if you had another number here, it would be an arrow here. And these arrows tell you something about yourself. This is the arrow determination. So when you have an arrow like this and you placed your numbers and they equal an arrow like this, it means that you are a very determined person, and that will help you in life. That's what you're vibrating. That's the frequency telling you, dependent on when you're born. That's the frequency you're radiating. And if the numbers add up like this, where the highest number being the 9, like you don't have a whole bunch of 1s or a whole bunch of 5s here. See, if you had another 5, this would be the spot. It means that your arrow is going up, and that means up here is the spiritual plane. So that means that you have more of a focus on the spiritual plane, right? Or on the mind plane. I'm sorry, this is the mind plane. This is the soul plane. This is the physical plane. So if you had an arrow going down of determination, your determination would be more reflected on the physical plane. Like say maybe you were like a bodybuilder or something like that that has more to do with physical. Now, if we go into the mind plane, maybe you're more of an intellectual. And maybe, or if it goes here, you're more on a soul level, so maybe a more spiritual type person. And these are just how it's reflected your determination towards what you're looking for in life. But there's other ways to determine this, but this is an interesting part of it. Now, there's always both opposites, right? You could end up being someone who never stops going for something, but because of your determination, you don't realize that maybe you should let it go and it's not something that's for you. So this can be reflected in two ways. So it's like sometimes we go for things so hard because we want to conquer it, and it's like maybe you should just let it go. There's something better out there for you. I'm sure you've experienced that in some type of way. So this is common, and now you'll never see this again after 2000 because nobody has a 1 or a 9 in their birthday anymore. So you won't really see that as much. I guess you would see maybe if they had a 1, a 9. Yeah, I guess on rare occasions you may see this. If you were born in March 19th, you might have that. It would be more rare, 2000, in the 2000s, but way more rare. So, and so that's why different generations are different, especially after the 2000s. Because of the 2000s, you have a lot more 2s. So you're going to have a chart if you're born after 2000 that kind of has more 2s right here. Now, the 2s end up being on a soul level. So you can see the people being born after the 2000s end up being a lot more sensitive, which means that they're actually more intuitive, more on the soul plane. Because you won't really see that in people born in the 1900s unless they were born in maybe February or on the 22nd or the 20th of the month or the 2nd of the month. So it's pretty interesting to see. So there's always two levels. They always look down on being sensitive in modern society, but when you understand, if you're more spiritual, you understand that it's strength. It's how you use it, right? So there's always both. So then here is another arrow, according to this book. I guess there's other ways that people, numerologists, will do this and reflect it in different ways, but this is just one method of using an arrow. And this is one of procrastination. So you see the arrow of determination is gone. So once it's gone, it creates the opposite of someone who procrastinates a lot. Now they're saying you could have that ability. So if you're like a parent and you have a child and then you realize that they do have this, then you can lay the foundation and help them to learn how to finish things effectively so it doesn't affect them. Like all this can be conquered. So it's just having self-awareness. And then once you have self-awareness, then you can enhance your good parts and you can learn more about yourself. And now, you see, when you have a chart like this and you're going to be missing numbers. You're not going to fill all the numbers. Like, I don't think that's even possible. No, you're not going to fill all the numbers. So you're going to have some missing parts. The missing parts and the zeros. So the zeros mean a whole other thing, and I'll make another video. It's a spiritual side, right? But when you have the missing numbers, are the missing numbers that you need to overcome in this lifetime using the numbers that are already here. So it'll help you learn, not overcome, like you don't have to overcome stuff, but you know, it's things that you can learn in this lifetime to enhance yourself as a being. So it goes really deep. It goes really deep, and it helps you learn a bit more about yourself. So just having awareness about yourself will guide you even more. And there's one more arrow I wanted to show you. Now, this is the arrow of spirituality. And what's interesting about this one is that this is the one that would be, because you see, you have equally all the planes, right? It's going more down to the physical plane, meaning kind of like you would be practicing that almost in a physical way. So these numbers are traditionally symbolic in many ways of ancient mystery schools. 3 being the number of understanding of creative principle, 5 the number of compassion and creative expression of the principle, and 7 of the sabbatical or day of rest. The perfection of the creator integrates the philosophic and practical qualities of the human creativity. And it's interesting to note that most religions focus primarily on the number 3 alone. For example, Hinduism, Christianity, revealing their preoccupation with the mental aspect of their teachings and the fear they often seek to cultivate in order to maintain of the faithful. So it's kind of interesting. So yeah, a lot of mystery schools would look for this because they do your numerology. That's how people can figure out a lot about you, is by your numbers, and you don't even realize they're doing it. That's why you got to stop posting your birth date, where you were born, and your full name on social media, because you don't know how many people can learn so much about you by having that on there. Like, I practice charts that way, so I can't imagine what malicious people are doing. But anyways, that's just a little bit about numerology. And yeah, and then you can link me. I have an email address underneath. If you want a reading, hit me up. And this is how I would do it. And also, you can also do your name in this exact way, and it tells you a lot about yourself in numerology, and I'll make a video about that soon. All right, love y'all. Easy.